First career wins for 2 prize prospects. And bullpen support that was nearly impeccable. Tonight, they welcome their nemesis to Nats Park. John Landon gets the call in Game 1 on Masson.
Washington Nationals baseball.
And welcome to Nationals Park. A beautiful night for a series against the Florida Marlins, who come in as this 2011 season winding down. A tribute to Roberto Clemente tonight here at Nationals Park. And the Nats come home after a nice sweep of the Mets up in New York. Bob Carpenter a little bit under the weather tonight. Johnny Holliday along with FP Santangelo. And we talk about the weekend up in New York, FP, and what they did with those 4 games. A couple of guys come to mind. Brad Peacock, Tommy Malone, and Ian Desmond.
Yeah, what a game he had yesterday, 5 hits, and he's just become so comfortable in the leadoff spot. I asked Davey Johnson yesterday, what did you tell Ian Desmond on the bench? He goes, it's the same thing I've been telling him for a while now. Don't try to inside out the ball. Don't try to feel for the ball in. Just hit the ball where it's pitched. And you see yesterday he had a base hit to right, a base hit to center, a couple base hits to left, and then the double off the wall. So, you know, Davey Johnson and Ian Desmond have a lot in common. Their careers have a lot of similarities. We're going to talk about that in the broadcast tonight. But you look at what Ian Desmond has done lately, and since being put in the leadoff spot on August 17th, 319, 38 for 119, 5 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, and 10 runs scored. He has been fantastic. So Ian Desmond getting very comfortable in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, 294 batting average since the All-Star break. And one thing about this ball club that helped them win that series in New York, how about some tremendous defense from the infield, and of course Rick Ankiel in center field going after almost everything hit his way. Stick around. We're going to have the starting lineups and the first pitch coming up. The first of 3 against the Florida Marlins tonight from Nationals Park. For dealers, and by Bank of America, and by Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt, in theaters September 23rd, rated PG-13. Johnny Holliday in for Bob Carpenter tonight. Bob, hopefully back with you again tomorrow night for Game 2 of the series. The Florida Marlins, who've been given the national spits, FP, all season long. They limp in after being swept by Philadelphia yesterday in a twin build-up in the city of brotherly love.
Well, it's a good day to face a team that's had good success against you. When you talk about the Marlins, they've done well here at Nats Park.
Javier Vasquez, one of the tougher pitchers going against the Nationals tonight.
Marlins are 12-3 at Nats Park since the beginning of the 2010 season. So, I don't know when the last time they faced a team that's won 5 games in a row, but they're catching the Nats at a bad time for them and a good time for the Nats.
Yeah, the Nationals now in 3rd place in the National League East, a game up in Florida. Our Train game temperature now 62 degrees here at Nationals Park in Washington. Visit Train.com for an independent Train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a Train. Let's take a look at the Florida Marlins lineup. They'll go this way tonight. Emilio Bonifacio leads off. And switch hitting at shortstop, Omar Infante. The second baseman will hit second. Then Mike Stanton, the powerful guy that's hit to .314 this month, 22 for 70. You see the 3 doubles, 2 triples, and 7 driven in. Jose Lopez in the cleanup spot for the Marlins. Logan Morrison will be in left field. Gabby Sanchez will hit after Morrison, and Brian Peterson in center. John Buck will catch, and Javier Vasquez on the mound tonight. And John Lannon going for his 10th win of the season.
Yeah, Johnny, this is a part where we usually talk about last time out. I don't even remember John's last start. Let's just say not his best, had something to do with 7 hits in a row, but we'll keep an eye on John tonight and his ground ball percentage. 69.1 ground ball percentage, 4th best in the National League. Fastball, slider, curveball change for Lannon.
And John has never won 10 ball games in his professional career. It's always been 9 here, 9 there. Won 9 games 3 of the last 4 years. And as you mentioned, FP, I can't remember the game against the Astros.
Yeah, and
he forgot about it quickly too, didn't he?
Yeah, I said it last time, Johnny. You pitch long enough, it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're Cy Young, Roger Clemens, Nolan Ryan, you're going to have starts like that. And let's check out the defense tonight for the Nats behind John Lannon. Roger Bernardina gets the start in left field. Rick Ankiel in center, and Lance Nixon right. Desmond and Zimmerman on the left side, Espinoza Marrero on the right side, and Wilson Ramos in the squad. So Michael Morse, Jason Worth getting the night off. And they're okay. They're just getting a little rest.
Yeah, the guys behind the plate in first and second and third, Barry, Bell, Blazer, and Carapazza will be the umpires working the ball game. And a familiar face, Emilio Bonifacio, steps in to lead off for the Marlins. A .288 batting average, and takes a strike to begin this ball game on a chilly night in Washington. A little after 7:05 to get the first pitch underway. Nats come in after a 14-hit attack yesterday up in New York against the Mets. And quickly landed ahead in the count to Bonifacio, who has 32 driven in and 3 home runs, .288 batting average for the one-time National. And John with the 0-2. Bonifacio laces it down the right field line, foul out of play.
Yeah, Emilio Bonifacio leads the National League in bunt hits with 14. And infield hits, get this, Johnny, he's got 40 infield hits this year. So you talk about a guy that can put the ball on the ground and beat some stuff out. He's got tremendous speed.
Chuck McKeon, the manager for the Marlins, needs only 1 win these last 12 games they have. The Nationals have 13 remaining, and McKeon, with 1 more win, will finish as the all-time winningest manager in club history. Bonifacio in the hole, the gap into left field for a base hit. So he gets the Marlins off and running with a base hit to right.
And all of a sudden, just like that, John Lannon finds himself in the stretch. A guy on first base with 37 stolen bases this year. Very short, compact swing. Keeping it simple, putting the ball in play and finding a hole.
Now with Bonifacio at first base, Omar Infante will step in. Yesterday went 2 for 8 in that doubleheader in Philadelphia, where they lost both games, 2-1 in 10 and 3-1 in a day-night twin bill. Bonifacio at first, and Infante takes the ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned, Bob's been under the weather for the last couple of days, FP, and we wish him well and hope he's right back here in the booth again with you tomorrow night.
Word is he should be back tomorrow night. So, partner, we hope you're okay. If you're watching at home, get well.
I drive to right field. This one is foul. Well, Bonifacio went to right, and so does Infante now. The count is 1-1 to the Florida Marlins second baseman. Mike Stanton on deck, and then Jose Lopez to start off this top of the first inning.
Johnny, I'm reading a stat right now in the Marlins game notes. They've batted .284 and scored 59 runs over the first 11 games of September. In their last 4 games, they've batted just .186 and have scored exactly 1 run in each game, going 0-4. And you know what I say to that? They just got done playing the Braves and the Phillies.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I love how you put stats in the game notes, but you forgot to put who they played in the
pretty tough division, huh?
Yeah, the pitchers they faced. So these guys can hit. They've just run into some tough pitching lately.
Marlins playing .500 baseball on the road again, away from Miami, 39-39. But they occupy the cellar in the National League East. And a swing of the miss, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lannon, 2-4 in 8 starts against Florida with a 5.48, and the Fish beat him 5-2 July 28th. And overall, John is 9-12 with a 3.65. This is his 31st start tonight.
And through just 55 pitches his last outing, so we always look at that and say, well, he's going to have a lot in the tank for tonight.
Then Fonte comes in this ball game with a 2.79 average, and just missing inside. Count goes to full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Okay, even though he didn't get the call right here, might have been in. He's establishing the inner half of the plate, and for John Land to get the ground balls, for John Land to open up his off speed and the changeup away. That pitch had a purpose. Doesn't always have to be a strike.
Nationals back home with a 5-game winning streak and 6 of 7 in that win column. And the 3-2. Bonifacio running, and just misses with the ball. And then Fonte goes to first, Bonifacio to second, with nobody down at the top of the first inning.
Well, you never want to set the table for the big guy in the box right now. Everybody knows about the 21-year-old Mike Stanton. His pop, 32 home runs, 82 RBIs. He's been banged up a little bit. Got back in the lineup yesterday. Went 0 for 3, but I think Nats fans remember Stanton's last trip here to D.C.
Well, he's had a field day in this ballpark. 8 home runs, 14 RBIs in 12 games at Nationals Park. And Landon quickly jumps ahead, no balls and a strike. Little gap between right field and center with Lance Nixon right and Rick Ankiel at center. As Mike Stanton has driven in 82 runs this year for Florida with those 32 home runs. And the 0-1. Line drive to left. Bernardino got a kind of a slow start on it and manages to make a nice catch. And that's the first out of this inning.
I'm going to tell you why he got a slow start on it, because when Mike Stanton's hitting, you're not thinking in, you're thinking back.
Right.
As an outfielder, that's, he swings the bat. You're thinking, I'm going to go get this one, but he got in on him. A good pitch by John Lannon. Bernardino with a bad jump, but he has makeup speed, and you saw it right there.
And now the Marlins third baseman, Jose Lopez. He comes in with a .230 average, 21 RBIs, 8 homers, and a couple of stolen bases. 1 for 5 with a run, a home run, and RBI yesterday in Philadelphia. And on this Marlins road swing, he's 2 for 9. And hitting the ball pretty good since being called up from New Orleans August 14th. 6 homers, 13 driven in 25 games. And John Lannon quickly heading the count, no balls and a strike. Bonifacio at second and Fonte at first, and there's 1 down at the top of the first. Just misses outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. After Lopez, Logan Morrison, the left fielder, Gabby Sanchez at first. Now keep in mind the Marlins without Hanley Ramirez for the rest of the year. Surgery, successful surgery yesterday.
He underwent open surgery to repair his left shoulder yesterday. He hurt himself diving for a ball in early August, re-injured it in a minor league rehab assignment. Went to see Dr. Andrews, and that's never a good thing when you go see Dr. Andrews, even though he's the best in the business. Recovery time for that surgery, 4 to 8 months. It looks like opening day might be in jeopardy for Hanley Ramirez. Time will tell. He's young, so he should heal fast, but he's had a problem with that shoulder since 2007.
Now, you just saw the numbers of Jack McKeon, some fabulous numbers posted during his big league career. Now the 1-2, and stepped out of the box does Lopez. 1 down at the top of the first, no score, just underway here at Nationals Park. Florida 67 and 83. They've lost their last 4 in a row, 6 of 10. But they've had the number for the Nationals, having won the last 3 in a row.
Johnny, we were on the field for BP today, and you look at the Marlins roster. They brought a football team up here to D.C. They were stretching out on the third baseline in foul territory, and they went all the way from the batting cage to the outfield grass in foul territory. I went over a couple of my buddies over there and I said, who's on the kickoff team?
Well, you got to get a shot of the dugout. Take a look at there's a Marlin no more than a foot away from each other from one end of the dugout to the other.
I mean, they called a lot of guys up. I think they have a lot of guys on the disabled list.
1-2, bouncer down to Zimmerman, touches third, on to first, double play, and the inning is over. So they get a hit and a walk, and that's it. And we go to the bottom of the first with Washington coming to bat in a scoreless ball game. Bat, and they'll go this way tonight. Ian Desmond will lead off at shortstop. Roger Bernardino in the number 2 hole. Brian Zimmerman batting third. He's at third base. Lance Nixon right. Rick Ankiel the center fielder. Then comes Danny Espinoza. Chris Marrero at first. Wilson Ramos catching John Lennon. And Ramos since July 29th hitting at a .324 clip. 12 extra base hits, 12 RBI, and 13 runs scored. And Javier Vasquez on the hill tonight for the Florida Marlins.
Coming off his 10th win of the season, last time out at Pittsburgh, September 10th, went 6 scoreless innings, allowed just 3 hits. He had 7 strikeouts and walked 2. So fastball, slider, curveball change from Javier Vasquez.
Vasquez at 10-11 with a 4.13 in his 30th start. He's won his last 3. And he starts off Desmond with a fastball for a strike. FP, one thing about this guy, he's going to go, he really eats up the innings, at least 6 his last 9 starts.
Yeah, he's a horse. A teammate of mine in Montreal in 1998, a 21-year-old rookie. He went 5-15 that year. But Felipe Alou and the organization just threw him right into the fire. The guy wasn't afraid from day one. I think he started a brawl in his second big league game, hitting a certain Pittsburgh Pirate, and we went at it. And that's the day we knew that he had moxie.
Grounded down to first. Sanchez bobbles it, finally steps in the bag, and Desmond retired.
Well, let's set the defense tonight for the Florida Marlins behind my former teammate. Logan Morrison in left, Brian Peterson in center, and Mike Stanton in right. Bonifacio and Lopez on the left side, and Fonte and Sanchez on the right side, and John Buck in the squad. Vasquez is throwing the ball well. About mid-June, he had a little losing streak to where he dropped a number of starts in a row, and he went back to his old windup that he had in Atlanta, kind of a drop-in drive delivery. He picked up some velocity on his fastball. His curveball became more sharp, and then he had a little difference between the speed of his fastball and his changeup, and the results have been good. Last 3 starts, he's 3-0. 20 strikeouts versus just 3 walks.
Roger Bernardino gets the call tonight in left field. And hits it down the left field line. That's going to be fouled up in the seats.
And we'll show you what I mean by drop and drive with Javier Vasquez. You kind of come to your balance point instead of just pushing off. It's almost like you see when Derek Jeter hits, he just kind of sits in his stance right before he goes. Same thing with Javier. He'll just sit on that back leg, drop down a little bit, It's giving him more power, more pop on his fastball.
That's the first time that Bernardina's facing Vasquez this year. And he sets him down with a swing and a miss, and there's 2 out.
A fastball early in the year for Vasquez, 86, 87. Right now, he's just sitting at 90 miles an hour. So whenever you pick up 3-4 miles an hour, it makes all your secondary pitches that much better, because as a hitter, I have to respect a respectable fastball.
Brian Zimmerman will face Vasquez now, 1 for 4 against the Mets yesterday. Had a couple of RBIs and a pretty hefty .290 batting average for Ryan Zimmerman, who has in his career 14 home runs against the Marlins. Vasquez has won his last 3 starts, beating Pittsburgh and the Mets twice. And he's 2-2 in his career against the Nationals in 5 starts with a 4.09. And the 0-1. Breaking ball way outside, even up at 1-1.
And you go back to yesterday in the 4-game sweep, Johnny. It was nice to see the Nats add on and really step on somebody's throat. They almost beat the Mets into submission yesterday, to where it almost looked, I don't know if they did, like they quit during the game. And I know Terry Collins wasn't happy after the game, but it's nice to see the bats explode like they did yesterday.
Bouncing ball to Infante, and Vasquez has a quick 1-2-3 bottom of the first. We go to the top of the second. Morrison leading off for the Fish next. In our nation's capital, John Landon with that first inning double play induced now leads the National League with 26 of those. He's thrown 17 pitches and 12 in the first inning strikes, and Vasquez with 7 of his 9 in the strike zone. Logan Morrison, Gabby Sanchez, and Brian Peterson in the Florida second inning. Morrison coming back after some knee problems. Missed 5 games and gave Florida its only run of the game, a solo shot in the 5th against the Phillies yesterday.
He also came back from the minor leagues. He's optioned to AAA last month. A lot of controversy. He's filed a grievance with Major League Baseball, claiming the demotion was without just cause.
Yeah. How do you prove that?
You know, I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
I mean, he was hitting in the mid-240s at the time. I think he had 16 home runs. He was hitting 3rd in the lineup the day before he got sent down, but he missed a couple team functions. I don't think they were happy with his tweeting ability.
He's hitting .252 now. Shot to the right field line, foul. Up in about the second row of seats. And landed ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Marlins left fielder.
But you know, Johnny, in my opinion, I don't know a whole lot about the situation other than what I read. You can send somebody down for whatever reason you want. I mean, there's this thing called being professional on and off the field. It's an honor to be a major leaguer. And, you know, if they told me to shave, I shaved. If they told me to wear my uniform a certain way, I wore my uniform a certain way, because I wasn't good enough to do all the other peripheral things and stay in the big league. So, you know, maybe you call your owner out because he fired the hitting coach. Little things like that don't go a long way with the organization. And You know, part of being a big leaguer is not just the numbers you put up, it's how you act as a professional.
That's right. Morrison grounds out to Marrero at first base unassisted, so Gabby Sanchez will take some cuts now against John Lannon. One down at the top of the second, no score. And the left-hander breaking ball inside low. And it's a ball and no strikes. John won 8 games in 2010. And unfortunately, he's had some rough sledding 5 of the last 6 starts. But boy, he pitched a whale of a game. The interesting thing about the Houston game, FP, that came 5 days after he beat the Dodgers 7-2.
Yeah, sometimes you just have a blip on the radar screen throughout the course of a season. And I'm watching John Lannon tonight, and it's a different John Lannon. His misses are below the strike zone, not above the strike zone. You see the ground balls. He's got 2 ground ball outs, a ground ball base hit that was well placed. So down in the zone early. He's got a good fastball, 90-91.
Yep.
You see the change right there, 87.
And it's a 3-1 count to Gabby Sanchez. He's belted 18 home runs this year for Florida, 73 driven in. Steven Strasburg goes tomorrow night against Florida. And Sanchez gets a base on balls. That's the 3rd Marlins runner. Keep in mind, at 2012, a special season ticket offer. You can buy 2 and get 2. Buy 2 new 2012 season tickets and get a couple free. Place a deposit now on the season tickets. Get the rest of this season free. And of course, it's winding down. Only 5 more home games after tonight. Go to nationals.com/2012. Ryan Peterson. Ball gets away from Ramos. Sanchez, the 3rd Marlins runner, and the 2nd free pass that John's given up tonight. Peterson, a .274 hitter, 7 driven in, 1 home run. And he's in center field tonight for Florida. They have dropped 6 of their last 10 ball games coming in here. Good pop of the fastball at P89 that time for John.
Yeah, but he can't consistently fall behind hitters, and he doesn't want to do that, obviously. But, you know, a walk here, a 2-0 count. When John Lannon's good, he's getting it and throwing it. He's ahead to everybody. Strike 1 is key.
And thrown 28 pitches already here in the first inning, with 1 out here in the 2nd.
A little quick right now out of the stretch. Front shoulder flying open, spinning out of there. And the arm is trailing, the ball is up.
And John against the Marlins, a career of 2 wins and 4 losses in 8 appearances against them. And the 3-0 got him a call strike at the outside corner.
Well, now's when John really needs that ground ball percentage to go up a notch. 69.1 coming into the game. And even though Peterson can run, he is looking for a double play.
And Peterson, the first Marlin to hit 2 triples in a game since Morrison did it September 3rd. And that's the 4th walk, or 3rd walk of this ball game that Lannon's given up. And the Marlins have runners at first and second with 1 away. Sanchez to second. And control has normally not been a problem for John Lannon.
And not when you look at the season numbers. Pretty good command, but at times he can be erratic. But what he always does, and why we have grown to love him so much this year, is every 5th day he competes. Not afraid to stick his nose in there, not afraid to deal with adversity on the mound.
And John Buck fouls back the first delivery up to the right out of play. Last 3 ball games, John's only walked 4 batters in the last 3 games. Tonight he's got 3. We're 1 out into the 2nd inning. The Marlins catcher. The count, no balls and a strike. Sanchez at second. Peterson at first. Ball gets away from Ramos, and the runners advance.
And that might be a pass ball. I just scored it a wild pitch, but I don't know if that ball was in the dirt originally. Yeah, that just went 5-0 right there. Wilson Ramos catches that ball most times. His glove was upside down. You turn your glove the other way, you catch that ball, but you try to trap it like he did. That ball never caught dirt. I don't see how that's a wild pitch.
Well, Sanchez winds up at third, and Peterson takes second. And the 1-1 to John Buck, the Marlins catcher, with runners in scoring position. And he misses inside with the ball. 2 balls and a strike to Buck, with Javier Vasquez on deck.
Let's check it out. Did he go? No, he held up. You got Javier Vasquez on deck, but he can hit. And 208 hitter this year. He likes to swing the bat. He's got a good approach and a good swing.
Buck had a 1-for-4 day yesterday. Line drive to center field. That will score 1 and score 2. No, just 1, a 2. As Sanchez comes across. And the Marlins take a quick 2-0 lead.
Well, you can't keep getting behind hitters. You definitely can't put guys on for free. So John Buck with a nice piece right there. Line drive up the middle. A good read at second base by Peterson. He was actually so close to Sanchez. It looked like he was going to score, but he didn't.
He was halfway down and went back.
He was halfway down the line, went back to third base. So it's 1-0 Marlins.
And as he turned that third base bag heading for home, the third base coach wisely held him up. So the Marlins get 1, and Buck on with a base hit and an RBI, and that's his 57th of the season. There's a bunt in front of the plate from Vasquez, trying to get the force at second, and got him. On a terrific play from Wilson Ramos to nail Buck at second base for the second out.
You hear guys in the dugout all the time on plays like this say, like a cat, and Wilson Ramos was just that, like a cat. Look at him bounce on that ball all in one motion. A perfect strike to Ian Desmond. So that could turn out to be a big play in this game. Not a bad bunt by Vasquez, just a great play by Ramos. Anytime you got a catcher running, you got to be a little more fine with the bunt.
And he guns him down at second base, now with 2 down. You got runners on the corners for the Marlins, with Vasquez at first and Peterson down at third. And we go back to the top of the Marlins lineup. Emilio Bonifacio had a base hit in the first inning to lead off this ball game. 1-0 Marlins in the top of the second. Bonifacio fouls it back in the screen. The count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Had a pretty good year for Florida, with 32 driven in, stole 37 of 47 bases thus far, and 3 home runs for Bonifacio. Leads the National League, as you mentioned, FP, in bunts, infield hits, and has 43 multi-hit games for Florida.
And on base percentage too, 374. He ranks third in batting average, 301. Tied for fourth in walks, 41. I mean, he's having a fantastic year for the Fish.
And he's had 129 starts for Florida, and he's played 6 different positions. 52 games at shortstop, 30 at third, 27 in left, 11 in right, a bouncer to Zimmerman, and the force at second, and Landon gets out of hot water. But the Marlins get the first one of the ball game. We go to the bottom of the second with a 1-0 Florida lead. the second inning. Our Luna second inning sponsor. Call Luna today for up to 70% off all flooring. 877-241-LUNA. Smart Shop. Shop at Luna today. Look at what the Nats and Marlins have been able to do here. Marlins have had the Nationals number 12 wins, 3 losses since 2010. And Tampa Bay and Boston 11 of 15 games they've won. The Red Sox and the Yankees 11 of 15. Twins and the White Sox 13 of 18. And the Phillies against the Marlins in Florida 13-5. And the Rockies in San Diego 13-5.
That's great. Now read it again, Johnny.
I can't do that.
I have a theory on that.
Only once.
It has nothing to do with the teams. It has nothing to do with ability. It's just the Marlins get really excited playing in a nice ballpark.
With people in the stands.
Yeah.
Well, they got the new ballpark going up next year in the site of the old Orange Bowl in Miami. Not exactly the place I would have picked to put a baseball stadium.
You know, I say that from experience, Johnny. In Montreal, when we played in front of however many people, 2,000, 3,000 on a given night, in that ballpark, we used to love going on the road.
Sure.
There's people in the stands. We were playing in nice ballparks. The adrenaline was there.
Lance next with a shot to left field, but Logan Morrison has a beat on this, and there's one down in the second. And FP, that's got to be so hard to do, to go out there, even though you're at the major league level, to continue to play, and there's nobody there in the stand.
I wouldn't say hard's the right word, Johnny. I would say easier on the road with people, because no matter where you play, it's still the big leagues. You're still making lots of money. There's still people polishing your shoes and hanging your uniform up for you every day and wanting your autograph after the game. It's just when you go on the road and you're playing teams maybe in a pennant race or you're playing in a wonderful ballpark, it's just a different vibe to where it's a little bit easier to get up for the game, but it's never hard at the big league level. The only thing that's hard at the big league level is hitting a round ball with a round bat.
Ed Keel with a pop down the left field line. If it stays fair, just goes foul. And Morrison with a long run trying to get to that ball, goes up in the stands.
That would have been some kind of collision down there between the ball girl and Morrison. She actually picked up her chair, did it the right way, but ran right toward the baseball, and the ball almost hit her. Look out. I mean, she almost got hit by the ball, Logan Morrison.
Yeah.
But the best part about it is she's all right, and folks, that's why they wear helmets.
Well, Rick Ankiel, besides playing some terrific center field, has hit safely in 8 of his last 9 ball games. He has made some tremendous plays in center field. Swings through a fastball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I've been wondering all year why they wear helmets down there. Now I know. She almost took one right in the coconut.
I would imagine Morrison's probably yelling at that girl, other way, other way, other way. Bouncing ball in between Infante and Bonifacio into center field. The Nationals have their first hit of the ball game. And Rick Ankiel keeps the hot bat alive. He's now hit safely in 9 of his last 10 ball games with that base hit.
I'll tell you what, with what Rick Ankiel has done since he came off the disabled list, stock up. I mean, the plays he's been making in center field, the way he's been swinging the bat, he's going the other way nice. He's showing opposite field power. I mean, there is no reason why Rick Ankiel shouldn't be a Washington National next year.
For a long time. That's right. Danny Espinoza will follow Ankiel. Chris Marrero on deck. Then will come Wilson Ramos. A base hit to left field. As Espinoza drops it in, Ankiel's got to go to third. Here comes the play at second. And they got him at second. Espinoza trying to stretch a single into a double. Thrown out at second base, but Ankiel winds up at third.
An aggressive play by Danny Espinoza. How about the throw from center field? A good stroke right here, going the other way. Going hard right out of the box, but watch Peterson right here in the arm.
Got a good arm.
Absolutely, a bullet right on the money, and it's not even close in second. See, it's hard to fault somebody for an aggressive mistake, but right there, Danny Espinoza probably would have been better off at first, but we've seen him get to second base on that play lots of times this year.
Now the rookie Chris Marrero's played a pretty good first base since they called him up from Syracuse. Up for the first time tonight to face Javier Vasquez. Starts him off with a 92-mile-an-hour heater, and it's no balls and a strike. You like what he's done so far, FP, with this ball club?
Yeah, I say it every day, Johnny. 3 words: he can hit. It's that simple. Great approach, not fazed by the surroundings.
And he pops one up behind Infante to short right field, and Stanton's got that. And the Nationals' threat is retired as Ankiel gets the third. We've got a 1-0 game to the top of the third. If you want to see Steven Strasburg pitch again tomorrow night, that'll be 7:05 against the Marlins. Middle game of 3, starting at $10. Tickets are available. All you have to do is go to nationals.com/tickets, and he will pitch again tomorrow night against Florida.
Papa Smurf on the hill tomorrow night.
Yeah. There's Steven. What a difference a year has made in him, IFP. The whole demeanor of him and the whole. I think he's kind of matured and grown up an awful lot from last year to this year.
Adversity will do that to you.
Sure. And I think I remember one of the comments he made as Landon starts off Omar Infante with a fastball for a strike. He said, you really appreciate what you got in the major leagues when you can't play for a year. You really sit back and look at the whole picture and how fortunate he is to be where he is today. And when you look at this young guy, you wonder, how great can he be?
Well, a lot of times when it comes fast, and everything's happening so fast,
it's tough to handle sometimes.
You go right through the minor leagues, you're in the big leagues, everybody's talking about you're good for baseball, and then you're faced with a little adversity, I should say a lot of adversity. When you go down and get the job done and work hard to get back at the level, you appreciate it the second time.
That's a base hit for Infante. He'll stretch it into a double and leads off this Florida third inning. The base hit to left field. Just inside that third base bag.
Yeah, just inside. Another base hit for the Marlins. This time an extra base hit down the line. So a leadoff double here in the third inning. And we'll see what Mike Stanton does. Probably try to drive him into the right side. But this isn't a guy at the plate that's just going to hit a 14 hopper to second base and move him over. He's thinking about driving him in the other way.
Well, since the All-Star break for Mike Stanton, he's 0 for 1 in this ball game. But since the break, is tied for 6th in the National League at homers with 14. Got his 23rd home run of the season. That was a new career high for him back in July. And he's already this year at 32 and driven at 82 runs.
Well, he's getting up there in age. He turns 22 in November, so
yeah, right.
He better get going with his career.
And they said he'd never make it, huh? Line drive to right. That's in the gap. Can they run it down? No. Gets past Lance Nix off the wall. And Infante would score. Mike Stanton into second base with back-to-back doubles now for the Marlins. And they got a 2-0 lead.
And that was a good at-bat. Exactly what I'm talking about. 26th double of the year for Stanton. And just playing the game the right way. He's not going to give up his bat in the at-bat in the third inning. Just, push a ball over the right side. He's looking for something, a way that he can drive that way. If you miss, you get Infante to third. If you hit it on the screws, you drive him in, and that's exactly what Mike Stanton did.
That for Mike Stanton, RBI. On the season, number 83. And the Marlins third baseman, Jose Lopez, up for the second time. Hit no double play his first time up in the first inning. Or second inning. Nobody down in the top of the third, and Florida with a 2-0 lead. Ladder with a checkup, Stanton at second. And delivers outside for ball one. Jose Lopez not hitting much for average, only .230. And he's hit 8 home runs. The Fish with nobody down in the third. Bouncing ball foul down the first baseline. Of the 12 meetings with Washington this year, the Marlins have won 8 of those ball games. But they played so well on the road too this year, 39-39. Lopez yesterday 1 for 5 in that doubleheader against Philadelphia. Fouls it back out, a play up to the right. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I'm just wondering, Johnny, thinking back to the glory days, when you face Cliff Lee on one day, pretty tough lefty, pitched a pretty good game last night. He went 9 innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 12 Marlins. And then you're facing John Lannon the next day. Not that John Lannon is bad by any means. He's a solid lefty, as we've seen all season long. But when you're coming off of Cliff Lee, maybe the ball looks a hair bigger tonight to the Marlins hitters.
Good point. Lopez grounds out to Zimmerman at third. And he held Stanton at second base.
They're wearing out the line. Another ball right down the line.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Good call. And a good throw. So I guess my point is, trying to sum it up, is you face Cliff Lee one night and John Lannon the next night, and that's not a knock against John. John's got great stuff. But Cliff Lee's one of the best pitchers in baseball.
Exactly.
You know, you face Randy Johnson on one night, and then you face somebody else the next night.
Problem.
Whoever else you're facing after Randy Johnson,
It's got to be easier.
A little more hittable.
Sure. Bouncing ball down to Espinoza. On to Chris Marrero. There's 2 down, and Stanton takes third in that ground ball. So after back-to-back doubles from Infante and Stanton, he gets Lopez to ground out and Morrison to ground out, and there's 2 down for Gabby Sanchez. One thing this year, FP, it's been the fact that he's had the ability to make sure the opposition hits balls into the ground. That's when he's most successful.
And that's when he's down in the zone.
Swing and a miss.
And that was a good changeup. 86 miles an hour, first pitch change.
John making his 31st start of the season tonight. And you get this one in the win column. You've got yourself 10 wins for the first time as a pro. Shot up the middle. That'll bring in Stanton easily from third base. And Gabby Sanchez with a walk and a base hit and an RBI in this ball game gives Florida a 3-0 lead. That was right up the middle.
I'm sure John Lannon had a few flashbacks right here. This line drive right by his head. And it was roasted. Listen to the sound. That's as loud as a line drive can get. And when we were down in Florida last time, the ball makes a different sound off the bat of Gabby Sanchez.
That is the 5th Marlins hit of this ball game. In the third inning, Brian Peterson steps in against John Lannon. He walked in the second. And we've got 2 down there in the top of the third. Wide drive to left. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Marlins have got 6 for the night. And Sanchez takes third. Can they get him at first base?
They got him. He took too wide of a turn, and Peterson thrown out at first base. Good heads-up play, FP.
He took a big turn. Ian Desmond saw it. And somebody was giving him the heads up that he took a big turn. And what a throw. Watch the arm strength. A little too far right there. Wander off the base. Thanks for coming. To end the ante on Brian Peterson. Good swing by Peterson, puts the ball in play nicely. Good job, Roger Bernardina, getting the ball back in the infield quick. I think that's where the play is made. A great throw, obviously, by Ian. We all know about his strong arm, but the fact that Bernardina got rid of this ball, they gave Desmond an opportunity to backdoor at first base, and you see the results.
And Peterson right there says, wait a minute, got to get back. Couldn't get back in time, inning over. But not before Florida tacks on 2 more runs. They got a 3-0 lead in this ball game, and 6 Marlin hits so far.
Well, the extra jab step by Peterson towards second base was because he saw the throw going to third. But Ian Desmond had different ideas, cutting it off and backdooring him at first. Nice job.
Wilson Ramos facing Vasquez for the first time tonight. He's got the record for most home runs by a Nationals catcher. Already got 12 with 45 RBIs. And Ramos hitting safely in 13 of his last 16 games. During that time, hitting .345, 20 for 58. Foul back out of play up to the right. And he started off this season as the Nationals' #5 prospect, identified by Baseball America.
Well, he's going to end this season as the Nationals' #1 catcher for a long time to come.
Now, you know something, FP, when you look ahead to next year and look at the arms on this team and the battles that are going to be taking place down in Vieira in February and March, Ramos is gone by a strikeout, and that's the second of the ballgame for Vasquez. It's going to be some spring training to make the starting rotation and to make a bullpen spot.
Well, expectations are high, and they should be. When you talk about winning 5 in a row, finishing the season the right way, I think, is very important, just from a standpoint of learning how to play 162 games and finishing the schedule with some energy. And not so much about the momentum for next year. I don't believe in that whole thing if you finish strong and momentum for next year.
Bouncing ball to short, Bonifacio on. The first to Sanchez, and there's 2 quick outs.
And I think a lot has been made about finishing third. And you know what? That would be nice in the sense, Johnny, as a player, you really don't care. But when the best 2 teams in your league are first and second, I think third place takes on kind of a different aspect. Yes.
In the toughest division in baseball,
if you're third place in a division where the team that wins is 5 games over 500, so what? But when you're third place in the toughest division in baseball, and the Phillies have their record, the Braves are doing their thing, yeah, now it means a little something, especially when you've been in the cellar for so long.
And the ball club trying to get that label off its back. They've never finished higher than 4th. The franchise never finished higher than 2nd since way back at 02 in Montreal. Wound up in 2nd place. Bouncing ball up the middle. Nice play by Bonifacio on to Stanton. He got him. And it's a quick 1-2-3. Sanchez rather. 1-2-3 as we head to the top of the 4th. Hello again at Nationals Park. Let's take a look at our PNC Minor League Report. Solutions that help you achieve your financial goals. PNC for the achiever in you. The Nationals 7 affiliates have finished with a combined record of .387 and .370. That's better than .500 baseball. Farm System got their 4th straight winning season. The guys hoping to move their way up the ladder to be with a big ball club someday soon. And Harrisburg, Potomac, and Auburn all securing postseason bids. So our congratulations to all the farm teams of the Nationals organization. Johnny Holiday in for Bob Carpenter tonight, along with FP Santangelo with a 3-9. I love saying that. Santangelo. Marlins 3-6-0. The Nationals no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. We're at the top of the 4th inning in Florida. They'll lead it off with catcher John Buck. He got a base hit in his first time up. Grounded to Desmond at short. The long throw to first. Nice stretch by Marrero. There's one down.
Ian Desmond is loose tonight. The last couple of throws have been absolute seeds. You go into the hole using the backhand, which I like, planting the foot and using the big arm. Anytime you go that deep in the hole to a backhand side, your front side's going to be closed, and once you plant that right foot, you have a big arm, use it. I'd like to see Ian Desmond using the backhand. A lot of times he goes to the forehand there. His momentum's going away from the play. I'd like to see him make that play more often than the other one.
And of course, Ian, the nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. Winging a high fly ball to right field, and Vasquez is retired. Don't forget, we are halfway to St. Paddy's Day, Saturday, September 17th at 7:05 against the Marlins tomorrow night. Half-price tickets, beer, and hot dogs. Go to nationals.com/specials. Well, it's a quick 2 up and 2 down as John Lanner retiring John Buck and Vasquez in order. And back to the top of the Marlins lineup with Bonifacio. And a 1-for-2 night going for him tonight. And it's 1 ball, no strikes to the Marlins shortstop. Bouncing ball foul down the first baseline. Talking with Desmond tonight down at the field before the ball game. FP, I congratulated him on being the nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award. And he is such a humble young man. just so appreciative of being even thought of in the same breath of a Roberto Clemente and what the award would mean to him.
Well, he gets it.
He sure does.
And there's no bigger compliment you can give somebody. He's a young guy. He hasn't been at this level very long, but he gets it. And he's going to be here a long time.
Yeah, the Roberto Clemente Award established back in 2002 to honor the legacy and the spirit of the Pittsburgh Pirate Hall of Famer. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Omar Infante. I beg your pardon, Emilio Bonifacio. Infante on deck, and then will come Mike Stanton. Marlins are running the second, 2 in the third. They got a 3-0 lead. Nats need some hits. And the pitch inside to Bonifacio. And it's 2-2. Landon so far with 3 walks, looking for a first strikeout. There's a shot off the leg of Landon. John runs it down, but that's going to be too late. And it's a base hit up the middle. That's the second one they've hit right at him.
John Lannon's got a bullseye on his back tonight. Almost got hit with a line drive back up the middle earlier, and that one got him.
And there's probably slim chance and none you're going to catch the speedy Bonifacio and a ball hit like that.
I don't know what that would be like, Johnny, but if I ever got hit as a pitcher, I would imagine that the rest of my career, anything that came close to me, I would have some flashbacks.
No question. Remember my high school days as a pitcher? When I wasn't walking them, I was hitting them. And they were hitting them right back at me, too. There's a breaking ball for a strike to Infante. He's 1 for 1 with a walk tonight. Bonifacio's got 2 of the Marlins' 7 hits. He's at first, 2 down in the top of the 4th. Ball foul back, and Screech almost had one.
Well, that's a true definition of an ugly finder right there.
Screech right down for the count. Had a chance to make a great play and couldn't do it. Yeah. And the 0-2 of the way to Infante, and Landon's going to keep Bonifacio close at first base. Nats have got a 1-game lead over Florida with that 3rd spot in the East. And they got here thanks to some good pitching from Brad Peacock and Tommy Malone up in New York.
And talk about positive for next year. How about sweeping the Mets at Shea Stadium and the last 2 games being kids? Brad Peacock in his major league debut as a starter, and Tommy Malone in his 3rd start. And I thought Tommy Malone was great yesterday. And getting that cutter all over the Mets hitters' hands. There was broken bats all over the place.
Nice changeup, and way ahead of the pitch is Infante. He strikes out, and Landon gets out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 4th. AFCEA Sideline Report. Visit AFCEA.org, the Association of IT Pros. Let's go down to Debbie Taylor. Deb?
Well, as you heard, Ian Desmond is this year's nominee for the Nationals for the prestigious Roberto Clemente Award. And it's fitting that this comes just weeks after earning the Heart and Hustle Award. Ian Desmond appreciates what Roberto Clemente meant to baseball.
Just being able to watch the clips of him playing, and every one shows him, playing hard, max effort, 100%. And I know he wanted to leave everything that he had out on the field and in the community, and that's the kind of person I am. I want to give everything I can back to baseball and really keep the sport moving in the right direction.
And like Roberto Clemente, Ian Desmond is following in his footsteps with his charity work. And you can vote for Ian to win the national award by going to ChevyBaseball.com/Clemente. Johnny?
Thank you very much, Debbie. Roger Brenadina leads off the fourth inning for the Nationals. A fly ball to left field, and Morrison's got that one as one quick out. And here once again is the website where you can go to the vote for Ian Desmond, ChevyBaseball.com/Clemente. Roger Bernardino, the first out of the fourth inning.
Well, they have a lot in common. They both play the game the right way. They both have absolute cannons, and they're both great people.
Those 5 hits, the double, 3 RBIs yesterday for Desmond. And that 10-1 win of the Mets up in Shea Stadium. It's the 5th time the Nationals had 5 hits in a ball game. Christian Guzman did it. Jesus Flores did it. Elijah Dukes did it. And we can never forget Nuke Logan. The Nookster, August 21st at Houston. 5 base hits. Count is even to Ryan Zimmerman. 1 ball and a strike. Ryan grounded out to the second baseman at Fonte in the first inning. That's trying to get some base runners, get some base hits, trailing at 3-0. Javier Vasquez, pretty tough customer so far. In his last 8 starts since he last pitched against the Nats, he's gone 3-2 with a 2.04. And Zimmerman gone on a call, 3rd strike. That's strikeout number 3 for Vasquez. As you know, for every Nationals walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington. So far, the Nationals have drawn 44 walks, a total of $220. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier, that'd be $2,200, a healthier and more active lifestyle. It's amazing you had one more 0 on there, how it comes out to be a little bit more money.
That is amazing, Johnny.
Yeah. Lance Nick swings and fouls it back in the screen. Vasquez has got 10 wins already this year. 10 wins for the 10th time in his career. Good teammate? FB?
Great teammate.
Could you hit him?
No.
Okay.
He could hit me, though.
And he did, I bet you.
That's why I just said he's a great teammate.
Did you have a chance to visit with him?
I did not. It's his day to pitch. I'll probably talk to him tomorrow, but when we talk about the career that he's had back in 1998, just a 21-year-old rookie, and now he's got 2,514 strikeouts in just 147 games. And that's quite a career.
He's trying to win his 4th consecutive game. Nix with a shot to left. And a long run, and Morrison grabs it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Javier Vasquez. We go to the top of the 5th with a Fish up 3-0. free of wireless service and a free smartphone just by signing up for Cox Wireless at their local solution store or by visiting Cox.com.
There's a couple doubles in the third inning. Omar Infante right down the line to start things off with the leadoff double. And then Mike Stanton coming up. Nice piece of hitting right here. Trying to move the runner, playing the game the right way, and he gets the bonus plan, an RBI to boot. So that's live right there. Mike Stanton lining a base hit into right field.
And the fifth inning is underway. And the leadoff batter gets on again for Florida. Stanton with a good night tonight. A double, a run scored, and that base hit to start the fifth inning. Jose Lopez will follow, then Logan Morrison, then Gabby Sanchez. Lopez 0 for 2 in this game. Landon delivers and misses outside for a ball. Tonight's John's 126th career start, 31st of the year. 9th of his career against Florida. Third time he's faced him this year. Breaking ball in there for strike.
That was a good curveball.
7-7 is Landon's number since way back in May 27th. Over 20 starts. A breaking ball, swings through it. And we talked about him hitting the ball opponents into the ground, grounders induced. He's 25 with tied for the National League lead with Joe Saunders on a ground ball percentage of 69%. That's when he's on his game and keeping the ball down low.
Well, the two pitches before that one, probably the best two pitches John Landon has made tonight. A good curveball followed by a good changeup. Tried to double up with the changeup right there. Just a little bit outside, but those were two good pitches.
We're in the fifth inning at Nationals Park. Johnny Holiday in for Bob Carpenter. Hopefully Bob fielding better and back with FP tomorrow night. Foul ball down the left field line, out of play for Jose Lopez.
Well, we're probably doing a good job of putting my partner to sleep tonight, so if he's watching
without
the game,
any medication,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
Turn on the game, Bob. We'll put you to sleep.
I heard you mention yesterday he was up in the clubhouse in New York.
He was. He tried to.
But he showed up and tried to go, didn't he?
He did. He was a last-minute scratch. He went down to Davey Johnson's office, and we brought in Jagler from the bullpen, and he did a great job.
Ball foul back to the screen. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lopez. .230 hitter. He's driven in 21 runs. Well, the bats were cracking yesterday in New York with it. 14 hits, line drive to short. Desmond has an easy play right to him on Jose Lopez. Little pop to short. And there's one down. 14 hits yesterday, and tonight only 2.
You know what Jose Lopez did right there? Smart move. Good baseball. He lined that ball to Ian Desmond. If he doesn't run it out, it's a double play. Ian Desmond had time on the jam shot to watch Lopez. He actually took his eyes off the ball, and he was backing up right there, retreating to play that ball in a hop. So a lot of times guys will see it going right to the shortstop. They won't run. And what you do right there is you back off the ball, you play it on a hop, you turn a double play. And Desmond was looking at the runner. He saw him hustling, so he just came in and caught the ball. So, you know, even in making an out, for you kids at home, you see it going right at somebody, run all the way through the base because they can back up, play it on a hop, and turn 2 on you, and you feel, you know, it doesn't look good, trust me.
No, there's one away. And Logan Morrison swings and misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Marlins left fielder.
And, you know, you can only do that on the slow hit line drives, kind of the humpback ones where a guy gets jammed. I mean, if he hits it hard, obviously, there's nothing you can do as an infielder but catch it. But if you have time to take your eye off the ball and look at the runner, smart infielders do that. Ian Desmond looking for a way to get out of the inning right there. I like it.
Morrison, a fly ball to left field. Bernardino back. He's got a beat on it. And there's 2 down. MLB.com's at-bat 11 appearances for the iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry is live baseball. Follow the Nationals wherever you are with Game Day pitch-by-pitch tracking, plus get in-progress box scores and stats, breaking news, and searchable video highlights. All you have to do is text at-bat to 31826 or visit nationals.com for details.
I hope that thing's prorated.
Can't answer that. I hope so too.
Just a few games left this year, but catch all the action. I go home and watch games on my computer every night.
A lonely life you lead, huh?
Yep. I'm just doing my work, Johnny. I'm always working.
Preparing for the next game. Line drive to right. And the Knicks has a beat on that. It's a good inning for Lennon. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Nats need some hits and some runs. By Verizon Wireless, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. And by your local Lexus dealers. Oh, is that a gorgeous shot? As we look over the left field wall here at Nationals Park, and a beautiful night. 3-0 Marlins lead as we had the Geico race. As always, here they come. Teddy's go. Everybody goes one way, FP, he goes the other way.
He tried the old okey doke right there.
Fake him out routine again.
So September for the Presidents, too. They're getting tired.
Yep. Tough month for baseball players, huh?
Very, very tired.
Michael Morse not in this lineup tonight. Jason Worth not the lineup for Washington. Davey Johnson giving them a night off. We head to the Nationals' bottom of the fifth inning, and Keel and Espinoza and Chris Marrero will try to get something going against Javier Vasquez. Tossing a 2-hit shutout thus far. And Keel from the left side, bouncing ball to second, and Fonny bobbles it, fires to first, and still able to get him. Boy, nice recovery by the second baseman.
And I thought that trickled far enough away that Ricky Ankiel was going to beat it. And he hit the ball right on the screws. A hard chance for Infante at second base, but it goes through the wickets. You see that no-look throw right there. Ricky Ankiel coming out of the box.
And just did get him. Nice stretch by Gabby Sanchez at first base. So Danny Espinoza facing Vasquez for the second time tonight. Got a base hit back in the second. Danny with a .235 average, 60 driven in, and he scored 65 runs. High pop behind short. Drifting back, Bonifacio calling off the left fielder Morris, and he's got it, and there's 2 quick outs. Boy, Vasquez wastes no time in that mound for Florida.
He's always been a quick worker. He always knew every fifth day whatever was going to happen fast. And more times than not, when you were playing behind him, it was something good.
He's now retired the last 9 national batters he's faced. Espinoza's base hit in the second. The last base runner for Washington. Now Chris Marrero, young rookie from Miami, Florida. He flew out to Stanton in right field his first time up in the second inning. We're at the bottom of the fifth, 3-0 Florida. Bouncing ball Past the third baseman, past Bonifacio at short. And into left field, and Marrero is on. And they give him a base hit, the Nationals' third of the ballgame.
There is some justice in that hit for Chris Marrero. Yesterday, 0 for 4 with a sacrifice fly. All 5 at-bats were hit right on the screws. And tonight he has a C&I single. See Peterson talking to Bonifacio. I guess that's the definition of a C&I single, but Chris Marrero will take it.
Now he's got 20 hits now in his first 19 big league games. And he sits safely now in 7 of his last 8 ball games played. 9 for 28. And 6 RBIs. Wilson Ramos will now face Vasquez, who's now given up his 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, one swing of the bat, you got a ball game right here.
Right. And the 1-0. And I think back that, Peter, the last time I had the pleasure of working with you, bottom of the 9th inning, Ramos deck 1. 3-run shot in the red porch area. We won the ballgame.
It was a lot like this, where there wasn't a lot of action early and they came on late.
9th inning was gangbusters.
I like what Davey Johnson did right there. He put Michael Morse in the on-deck circle, trying to buy Wilson Ramos a pitch to hit. John Lannon was standing out there originally. He switched him up. I don't know if Lannon's in the game or not. Stammen warming up with the bullpen, but even if this is a deke, a lot of times you can buy the hitter in the box some pitches to hit just by putting one of your horses on deck.
Marrero with a 2-out base hit. And Ramos with a 2-1 count on him from Vasquez. Bouncing ball to second. Infante on to first to Sanchez. And again, Vasquez gets out of some mild hot water. Top of the 6th coming up.
It's time for the Coors Light freeze cam. We're going back to the 3rd inning. Brian Peterson slaps a single to left. Roger Bernardino the throw into Ian Desmond. He decides to go backdoor and get him, and he should have stopped right there. That's where we're going to freeze it. A couple extra steps cost him. I think he saw the throw going to 3rd base, and he was thinking, I'm going to sneak into 2nd. Not so fast, my friend. And that is our Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Perfect timing as Peterson steps in to lead off against John Lannon. Got caught in no man's land after he rounded first base. Vasquez, he's thrown a total of 46 pitches in the ball game. Only the last 2 innings has he gone 10 or more. 10 both innings. 9 the first inning, 9 the second, and 8 in the 3rd. Lannon will start off Brian Peterson with a breaking ball. Misses outside for ball 1.
And generally speaking, good managers never have a problem with a guy making an aggressive mistake on the bases. As long as there's some thought behind it, and he's trying to get you an extra base, an extra 90 feet, and he's hustling and playing hard. You walk right by a manager, he'll give you a high five. It's when, maybe the time isn't right for it and it's not a smart decision and you make a base running mistake. That's when a manager will have a problem with it. But when you got a guy like, Brian Peterson trying to take an extra base right there, I'm sure that Jack McKeon didn't say a word to him other than way to swing it.
Nice breaking ball. 2 balls and a strike. Peterson called up from New Orleans back in mid-July. Tonight's his 42nd start. He's started 25 games in center, 11 in left, and 5 in right field. Bouncing ball to second. Easy play for Danny Espinosa to Marrero. There's one quick out. Peterson retired at the top of the 6th. John Buck, then Vasquez, and Bonifacio will follow. So Landon has retired the last 4 Marlins he's faced.
So that was a deke by Davey Johnson. We put Michael Morse on the on-deck circle, tried to buy Wilson Ramos a pitch to hit, and send John Lannon right back out there. And like you just said, Johnny, since the 3rd inning, John Lannon has settled down nicely.
He sure has. 13 games remaining. Only 5 at home now, and 7 on the road, 13 counting this one tonight. Bouncing ball fouled out of plate. Bonifacio's got a couple of base hits. Stanton's got 2 as well. And Omar Infante, the top of the order, with 5 of the Marlins' 8 hits in this ballgame. Sanchez and Peterson have 1, and John Buck as well. FP, after the All-Star break, it seems to fly by, doesn't it? The rest of the season, up until that point, kind of goes along at a nice pace. That after the All-Star break, here it is with just games remaining.
It depends on what kind of team you're on.
If you're a contender,
it goes real fast.
Real fast.
I'm sure if you ask the Houston Astros, they might not tell you the same thing.
Or if you ask these Florida Marlins, same thing. 2-2 the count to John Buck. And a base hit in the 2nd. Foul back in front of the Marlins dugout. No ball has flown out of the park against Nats pitchers in 100 innings.
Well, you know what that means.
Yeah, it means no ball has flown out of the park in 100 innings.
Oh, man, I am knocking on wood right now.
There's a high infield pop. Espinosa says, "I'll take it," and does. And John Buck is gone. So 2 up and 2 down, and the Marlins 6th. And Javier Vasquez will stroll to the plate with a 208 batting average. Johnny Holiday in for Bob Carpenter tonight. Bob, hopefully back with you tomorrow night. Been battling some under the weather problems. FP Santangelo alongside, and Debbie Taylor down in the field. And great to have you with us tonight with the first of 3 against the Florida Marlins. And then after this one, the ball club up to Philadelphia starting on Tuesday for 2 day night doubleheader in the first 2 games of a 4-game series. Then Atlanta here next weekend, and then Florida at Florida wraps it up to end the season on the 28th of September.
Yeah, my partner never thought "see you later" would take on such an important meaning in his life.
Breaking ball, nice block by Ramos. Nobody on in the 5th inning or 6th inning. And Florida throwing the shutout, 3-0. Vasquez, fielder's choice at 3rd, then flew out to right his 2nd time up against Lannon. Bouncing ball to Zimmerman. Be a nice quick 1-2-3 6th, and the Marlins are 3 up and 3 down as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Florida with a 3-0 lead over the Nationals. Dodge.com today. As we head to the Nationals' bottom of the 6th inning, they need some runs, need some hits. They trail it by a score of 3-0. And the Marlins 3-8-0 for Florida. The Nationals 0-3-0. You know, for every Nationals walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50. That's to support the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington. So far, the Nats have drawn 443 walks. To date, the Nationals have raised a total of $22,150. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. 443 walks equals $22,150. No Javier Vasquez tonight. Very impressive numbers, FP. Only 3 hits allowed so far. Toss it a shutout.
Yeah, his pitch count has been down very low right now, just 46 pitches. The Nats have been aggressive early in the count with Vasquez. He's been throwing strikes.
And Alex Cora will hit for John Landon to lead off the 6th inning. So Landon goes 5 or 6 and gives up the 3 runs and the 8 hits.
46 pitches through 5 innings might be the lowest pitch count we've seen through 5 all season long.
And of course, Vasquez getting tougher as this game goes along. Landon with 10 ground balls, 6 hit in the air, 1 strikeout. It his work tonight. And Craig Stammen, very impressive thus far since he's been called up from Syracuse. Cora with a pop behind third. Bonifacio coming over. Lopez says, I'll take it. There's 1 down. And the Nats numbers outside of Ankiel and Espinoza and Marrero. Not much going on tonight. But we go to the top of the order and see if Desmond can get things rolling. And then Roger Bernardina and Ryan Zimmerman.
I sat down with Davey Johnson today and talked at length about his newest leadoff hitter. And Davey had some interesting stories to tell about how when he was in the minor leagues, he used to hit the ball where it was pitched. He played in a big ballpark in Double-A, and he hit a lot of home runs just getting the head out on the inside pitch, pulling that, hitting the outside pitch and driving it the other way, not trying to just dump it into right field. A lot like that swing right there.
Yeah, that ball is just foul. Right up in the left field corner.
And then he said when he got to Triple-A, he had a hitting coach that told him to get inside of the ball and try to, you know, like Brooks Robinson did at the major league level, hit everything the other way. But he's been talking to Ian Desmond about that swing right there. Just dropping the barrel on the baseball. Don't try to force it into right field. And Davey said he hit the softest 260 you ever seen once he had that hitting coach tell him to stay inside the baseball. And then when he got back to the big leagues, he said, you know what? I'm just going to drop the head on the ball, take my hands right to the baseball. If it's in, I'm going to catch it out front. If it's away, I'm going to drive it that way and catch it out front. But somewhere along the line, Ian Desmond had somebody to tell him let the ball get deep, and that's why he saw those swings where he was trying to kind of force the ball to right field this year. And lately, since talking to the manager, Rick Eckstein, trying to get it through to Ian Desmond too this year, that hey, just swing the bat, catch the ball out in front. If it's inside, pull it. If it's outside, drive it that way. And I think, you know, Ian's finally starting to realize, yeah, this is nice. He's hit some home runs to left field, real low line drives. He's had a good approach recently. And I think it takes maybe a manager that had a similar career and similar experiences to you.
That can relate to it.
A middle infielder with a lot of pop. Davey Johnson, 43 home runs 1 year. And when he talks about Barry Larkin and comparing him to Barry Larkin, he thinks he can be that kind of player where he can hit 1, 2, or 3 in a lineup.
You like him in the leadoff spot?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm sold. And maybe a little early. I might have got a little carried away yesterday with the 5 hits to anoint him the leadoff hitter for next year. But, you know, I like what I've seen from Ian Desmond. As a former leadoff hitter, I feel like that's the one spot I'm qualified to say if I think a guy can lead off or not. And he has been doing all the right things in the top of the order.
And as the leadoff guy, you have to have a little different mindset, don't you?
You do, and it allows Ian to use all of his weapons. When he's hitting 8th, he can't steal, he can't do this, he can't do that. But leading off, now you see the full package, the total player. He can steal bases, he can hit for average, he can drive in runs, which I think is very important in the leadoff spot when you have pitchers bunting guys over all the time. It's a very unappreciated value of a leadoff hitter in the National League. When you have a pitcher coming up in the 9-hole, button 7 and 8 over, as a leadoff hitter, you have to be able to drive in runs in the National League. And I think Ian Desmond has a swing to do that.
Ian's also hit a couple of leadoff home runs this year. One against the Dodgers earlier. Also hit one against the Mets. Fly ball to right field. Stanton with a long run. Got it before he crosses the foul line. And there's 2 up and 2 down.
It's time for the Home Depot doing more on defense. So let's go back to the first inning. Mike Stanton at the plate. And this is before he had 2 hits. His first at bat, just a broken bat job to left. And Roger Bernardino with a late jump on it. And like I said at the time, when Mike Stanton's hitting, you're thinking going back. Not in. Nice play by Roger Bernardino. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Vasquez has retired 11 of the last 12 Nationals he's faced. And Roger Bernardino struck out in the first, flew out to left to Logan Morrison, his second time up in the 4th inning. And here in the 7th, or bottom of the 6th, we've got a no ball, 1 strike count on the Nationals left fielder. Bernardino called up from Syracuse. He's still not 100% with that injured hand when he drove for a ball on the warning track against the Mets on September 4th. And one of the speedier guys on this ball club. Who would you take in a race with Bixler and Bernardino, FP?
Wow.
A couple of greyhounds there, huh?
I will be politically correct and say I'd take Abe Lincoln.
You could also throw probably Espinosa and Desmond in the mix there too. They got great speed as well. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Roger Bernardino. Vasquez just kind of coasting along on a neat little 3-hitter tonight. Bernardino stays alive and fouls it off to the left, out of play. Scott Berry, Wally Bell, Corey Blazer, and Vic Carapazza, the umpires, working this ball game. Berry behind the plate. I'm sure umpires like Berry love it when Vasquez is on his game like he is tonight. Breaking ball inside, and the count is full at 3-2.
I will say this about Roger Bernardino. There might be faster guys in the big leagues, maybe D. Gordon from Los Angeles, but on the bases, making turns, how he lowers his shoulder and kind of leans into the next base, I don't think there's anybody faster.
High drive to right. Stanton's there. Another 1-2-3 inning for Javier Vasquez, who was go to the top of the 7th here at Nationals Park. Jeep celebration event today at your local Jeep dealer. Well, Craig Stammen comes in out of the bullpen. Been very effective since he's come up from Syracuse. September 6th. Got his first career win in relief on Tuesday in New York at Citi Field against the Mets. Actually, his first major league victory since August 4th of 2010 at Arizona. 1-1 record, 1.93 earned run average.
He got a base hit and scored the winning run. So the Marlins will be seeing fastball, slider, curveball change from Stammen.
And Emilio Bonifacio leads it off now for the Marlins here in the top of the 7th inning. Javier Vasquez, having retired 13 of the last 14 Nats that he's faced. Bonifacio single to left, got on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, got an infield single in the 4th. His average up to 290 with 32 driven in and 74 runs scored this year. Stammen, a 27-year-old right-hander from Coldwater, Ohio. In 20 appearances, has posted a .488 earned run average. And he's made the transition very, very nicely from starter to reliever. Bouncing ball to Desmond at shortstop, bobbles it, and Bonifacio on. And that for the Nationals in this ball game, their first error of the night.
And we talked about it earlier in the game with Ian Desmond. He went to the backhand side and made a nice throw right there, trying to get in front of that ball. And the speed of the baseball didn't allow him to.
And now Stammen's got to be aware of Bonifacio stealing 37 of 47 bags this year. Omar Infante, a walk, a double, and a run scored, and a strikeout against Landon Bonifacio going. He's got that one stolen easily.
Well, you could see that all the way up here. As soon as Wilson Ramos got the ball, Bonifacio was like 2 steps from second base. What a jump. What speed.
38 stolen base. Look at the jump he gets.
And watch. Ramos, not a chance. He was almost a second base umpire, Corey Blazer, before Ramos even got rid of the ball.
So Bonifacio in scoring position at second base with a stolen base. And the count to Omar Infante has 1 ball and no strikes. Stammen trying to keep the Nationals close in this game. Trailing at 3-0, and we're in the 7th inning already. And the 1-0 is low. And the count is 2-0.
Even if Ian Desmond fields that ball going to his right like that with the forehand, he still has momentum going toward the outfield to where he's going to have to take another shuffle, a step, and then throw. If he backhands that baseball, he gets rid of it a lot quicker. And he did it earlier in the game. That one, he just thought he should get in front of.
Now with that stolen base, he's got 38. That's tied for 3rd best in the National League. And Stammen falls behind the count 3-0. With always dangerous Mike Stanton on deck, then Jose Lopez. Bonifacio a short lead at second. And Stammen gets the outside part of the plate, just 3-1. On the road trip for the Marlins, Emilio has 11 base hits. Had a rough time in Philadelphia. 1 for 9. Bouncer fouled off at the plate. And the count is 3-2.
There's a lot of players that would love to take a 1 for 9 playing against the Phillies. Yes.
Yeah. Well, the Nats get their shot next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Doubleheader on Tuesday. And the single games on Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow night it's going to be Strasburg against Chris Volstead here at 7:05. Count is full to Omar Infante. And the 3-2. Bouncing ball foul down the third base line. John Landon's numbers tonight: 6 innings, 3 runs, struck out 1 and walked 3. gave up the 7 hits.
I thought he settled down nice after the 3rd inning.
He did. That's when Florida got their 2 runs, and Infante is gone, and Stammen gets his first strikeout. You can enjoy VIP seats and MVP seats each every game at the all-new Skybox Sports Bar, only at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. VIP seats and MVP eats every single game day. Well, the Marlins have 1 down here in the 7th. As Infante strikes out for the 2nd time. Landon got him once and Stammen got him once, and he's ahead in the count to Mike Stanton.
And 21 years old, putting up numbers like that, you start to think if he can stay healthy, what a career he's going to have.
14 home runs against this ball club. Slow roller down the 3rd base line. That is foul. He's got 54 career home runs.
And that's and counting. Everybody else on that list is done. It's a pretty impressive list.
9 against the Nationals. Mel out, Eddie Matthews, Frank Robinson, the baby bull Orlando Cepeda, Andrew Jones.
I would like to see him against Michael Morse in a home run derby. Just those 2, and that's it.
Bouncing ball past the 3rd base bag. That is foul.
Forget the 8 rounds where you get tired and you finally turn it off because Prince Fielder's kid's 13 years old by the time the home run derby's over. Just that guy in the box right now against Michael Morse, and that's all I want to see. Those 2 guys, head to head. Everybody else can have the night off.
Did you say since Prince Fielder's son was 13?
Yeah, he started at 3. He was shaven by the end of the home run derby.
That's a good line. Here's the 0-2 Bonifacio trying to steal 3rd in that play. It's fouled off down the 3rd base line.
Because I'm telling you, any Nats fan that's been here early enough to see Michael Morse take batting practice knows what I'm talking about. And anybody that's ever seen Mike Stanton take batting practice knows what I'm talking about. They hit him to spots in ballparks that people can't even dream of. Onto the concourse, off the red porch, you know, where the cameras are in center field. Crazy places. If you get a chance to see the guy in the box take BP, I highly recommend it.
And a lot of similarities too, FP, between Michael Morse and Mike Stanton. As you look at them stature-wise.
Yeah, big guys.
Big guys.
Hit the ball far, but there's not a lot of effort involved into it. It's like watching a pitcher with an easy arm action that throws 98. Same thing with them. They're not max effort guys. And they just touch the baseball and it goes 400 feet.
Michael a better average this year than Stanton, 303. And the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 27 home runs for Michael and 86 driven in, 2 stolen bases. Those numbers almost identical with Stanton with the 32 home runs. And his 83 RBIs, has 1 tonight with the double back in the 3rd inning. The 1-2 from Stammen to Mike Stanton. There you go, yes. So back-to-back strikeouts. Stammen gets Infante, then he gets Stanton. And there's 2 away in the 7th.
And Verizon on the pitch track. Let's check it out one more time. This is a nice curveball down in the dirt, 85 miles an hour, check swing, couldn't hold up. So after a leadoff single by Bonifacio, a stolen base, a couple of strikeouts for Stammen. Nice job.
Speaking of nice jobs, that nice job brought to you by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable wireless network. Well, Stanton's got the fish, just kind of fishing for fastballs. Lopez misses that one, and it's no balls and a strike. Bonifacio still out there at 2nd base after the error that got him on by Desmond, fouled away down the right side, and there's no balls and 2 strikes. You got to figure Davey Johnson and Steve McCatty have got to really be impressed with what they've seen from Craig Stammen.
Absolutely. We've talked about Chris Marrero taking advantage of an opportunity. Craig Stammen's doing the same thing.
And the 0-2. Lopez steps out of the box. Greg recall from Syracuse, September the 6th. just misses on the outside corner. We had him on our Nats Extra pregame last homestand. We were talking about the mental adjustment from being a starter all the time you've been in the major leagues to being in the bullpen, where he certainly has found a home. And he said there is a mental adjustment there, but if you're going to stick, you got to take advantage of what they give you.
Well, I like his quote in the paper the other day talking about his age and being in AAA, and he said, if you'd have told me when I was 27 that I'd be a AAA pitcher,
right,
I would have said, I'm in.
Right.
That's the greatest life in the world. And I never thought of it that way. I was always kind of bitter in AAA, wanting to get to the big leagues, thinking just give me a shot. But when you really break it down, yeah, if I look back to when I was 18 in high school and you told me you're going to play AAA baseball for a living, I would have said, I'll take it. Are you kidding me? Play a game and get paid?
Misses just outside. The count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lopez.
That was a very interesting perspective and a very intelligent one, too.
Ramos trying to frame that ball, and Stammen just missed outside. Oh, the 2-2. And the count is full. Well, Craig, one of those guys that certainly paid his dues in the minor leagues. Signed back in 2005. And he lost him. So Lopez gets the base on balls. Bonifacio at second, Lopez at first with 2 down. That'll bring up Logan Morrison. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. With 2 outs, Stammen loses Lopez. And Logan Morrison with a ground out to first, his first time out. Ground out to second, the second time in the box, and a fly out to left, his third time. 0 for 3 night for Morrison. Batting average now at .250. Where Stammen came up in the same class with Ryan Zimmerman and John Lannon. And starts off Morrison with a fastball at 90 on the gun. And the 1-1 with 2 outs here in the 7th. Nice changeup, fouled off, out of play. Bullpen last night was terrific in New York, with Ballister, Rodriguez, and Coffey, and Clippard, and Burnett. In fact, they've thrown 14 2/3 scoreless innings.
Well, they've been working hard all season long.
Only 8 hits during that stretch and 16 strikeouts. Well, Stammen comes inside and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gabby Sanchez on deck, and then Brian Peterson and John Buck. 3-0 Florida. We're in the top of the 7th at Nationals Park. Bonifacio at second. Lopez at first, swinging a foul at the plate. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So after putting Infante away with a strikeout, Stanton away with a strikeout, having an 0-2 count on Lopez. Big Stammen having trouble putting Logan Morrison away, but that was a good pitch. Just got a piece.
Well, the path to the big leagues for Craig has led through Vermont and Savannah and Potomac and Columbus and Harrisburg and finally Syracuse. There's a high bouncing ball to second. Espinosa's got to hurry. Fires to Barrero and got him by a step. So Stammen gets out of trouble. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Zimmerman, Nixon, and Keel trying to put something together for Washington. It makes car buying easy. Visit NavyFederal.org to calculate your payment. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Florida, with runs early in this ballgame, a run in the second, 2 more in the third. And they've got a lead of 3-0 as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Steven Strasburg on the mound for the Nationals, 7:05, middle game of 3 against Florida. Half-price tickets are available. Starting at $10. You can go to nationals.com/tickets. Tickets starting at $10 to see Strasburg tomorrow night against Chris Volstead for the Marlins. And Stephen and John Lannon, a little conversation there, that Nationals dugout. You can tell how the weather's cooled off considerably, FP, since what we had last week. 62 degrees at game time tonight.
Yeah, that storm rolled through last night in New York, and it got cold up there, and then we came home and got off the plane.
How was that plane ride back? A little bumpy?
It was the Knuckleball Express, and we'll just leave it at that.
Javier Vasquez has been dominating tonight. His last complete game was against the Nationals September 25th. That was 2 years ago when he was with the Atlanta Braves. He's had 21 in his career. Bouncing ball. Zimmerman trying to beat it out, and he does. He can't make a play. It's short. Off the glove of Lopez. Bonifacio tried to make a play on it. Dominguez now at third base for the Marlins. Coming in the top of the bottom of this inning.
Yeah, Bonifacio got it on the ricochet off of Dominguez's glove. You see the dive right here. Good effort right into his glove, and he couldn't hang on. He's got a strong arm. He would have had a chance right there to get Zimmerman, but leadoff man aboard here in the 7th for the Nats.
Well, that's a good sign. Get something on, something going. Matt Dominguez at third base. So Zimmerman leads off, and that's a base hit they give him to start this 7th inning. Lance Nix 0 for 2. He's flown out to left field both times up tonight. Then Rick Ankiel with a 1 for 2 night. He'll be on deck.
I went up to Lance today in batting practice. I said, who's the new guy in the lineup tonight? He's been banged up with the groin and the Achilles and trying to get healthy. I said, how you feeling? He said, I'm good. Good to go.
And those things are tough to come back. Base hit to right field for Nix. And the Nationals have 2 on and nobody out in the 7th. A line shot to right for Nix. And back-to-back hits for the first time since the 2nd inning when Ankiel and Espinosa put back-to-back hits on the board.
And Brian Bixler going to run for Lance Nix, take it to the house. Nice night, 1 for 3. Haven't played in a long time. You go 1 for 3 in a spot start. That's a great night. So now it's up to the hot-hitting Rick Ankiel. Single his first time up, grounded out to second base his second time up. And swing of the bat. And this game is tied.
And Keel keeps his streak alive tonight, hitting 9 of his last 10 ball games. And a chance to do some damage against Vasquez. Takes a breaking ball high. 1 ball to no strikes to the Nationals center fielder Rick Ankiel. Out of Port St. Lucie, Florida, down in the Fort Pierce area. Rick, now 31, comes off a 4 for 14 road trip, 1 for 2 yesterday against the Mets, 2 for 5 on Tuesday at Citi Field. And Vasquez misses outside for ball 2. Since July, when coming off the DL, has hit .281. 10 doubles, 8 home runs, 26 driven in, 3 stolen bases. He's got Zimmerman at second, and Brian Bixler running for Nix at first. Nobody down. Swinging a foul back into the screen, and the count's 2 balls and a strike. Espinosa on deck, then Chris Marrero. That's with 5 base hits in this game. Two in the second, 2 in this inning, and 1 in the 5th. And the 2-1 is popped back out of play behind the third base dugout.
And since the second inning, Javier Vasquez has been in the stretch to exactly 1 hitter in the 5th. Now he's in the stretch. All of a sudden there's a couple of hits. So he was in the stretch in the second inning. And then Marrero singled in the 5th. He got Ramos to ground out to second base. So he was only in the stretch 1 time.
And until that Zimmerman base hit 2 batters ago, he retired 12 of 13 Nats he faced. Trying to nail down his 11th win of the year. And Keel swings through a changeup at 72. And that's the first out of the inning.
Let's check out the pitch sequence to Rick Ankiel. Javier Vasquez in the stretch for the first time in a long time. Misses with the first pitch fastball. Misses with the second pitch fastball, and that was the pitch. Rick Ankiel got a 2-0 fastball right down the middle. Pretty good located fastball on 2-1. And then a great curveball with 2 strikes by Vasquez.
Convergence Technology and Citrix are the winning team to desktop virtualization. Call the experts at 301-860-1960 or visit convergencetech.us. Count is 1 ball to no strikes to Danny Espinosa. Zimmerman at second. And Bixler at first. 1 down in the 7th inning. And Chris Marrero has 1 of the Nationals hits. He's on deck. And if needed, Wilson Ramos. For the 2nd time tonight, the Nats have had 2 runners on base against Vasquez. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Danny Espinosa asking Scott Berry, the home plate umpire, where was that pitch? Zimmerman at second. And Bixler working on the gum at first. And the 1-1. Just missed. 2 balls and a strike. Javier Vasquez, winning his last 3 starts, beat the Pirates and the Mets, then the Mets again. And this is the 10th consecutive start. He's gone at least 6 innings. And the count's even at 2-2.
And Danny Espinosa's last home run was at Atlanta, August 30th. Number 19 off Jair Jurgens.
Just thinking about that. Tied for the lead among all the rookies in the National League. With the Braves hot-hitting Freddie Freeman. 1 more will match Ryan Zimmerman's mark of hitting 20 at 06. Swinging a fly ball down the left field line. A run for the ball. Bonifacio trying to get there, and Dominguez can't get it. Went right past his glove in foul territory. Now Espinosa stays alive.
And that's Emilio Bonifacio's ball all the way. So. And he's got to take charge right there when he looks at his third baseman and call him off. The shortstop has the angle in the Bermuda Triangle down there. And you have priority over the third baseman. A good hustle play by Dominguez, but when you look at the angle created just by playing at shortstop, if Bonifacio calls it right at the foul line,
he's got that ball.
Everybody gets out of his way. There's no traffic right there, and he makes the play easily. So the Nats catch a big break right there.
It appeared he was calling him off too, wasn't he?
It looked like it. The young player just dove for a ball, didn't make a play, and now he was going to go get that ball, so you can't fault the effort by Dominguez.
Well, let's see if Danny Espinosa can take advantage of it. 2-2 count and the delivery. Foul back on the screen. And he singled in the second, then popped to short. Bonifacio his second time up in the fifth inning. 78 pitches tonight for Javier Vasquez. 54 have been strikes. Danny's batting average at .234. He's driven in 60. He scored 65. And the pitch outside. And the Nationals got a little something going here. Runners at second and first. One away. And a full count of Danny Espinosa.
Well, the way Chris Marrero's been swinging the bat lately, if Danny Espinosa can reach in any way, shape, or form here on this 3-2 pitch, it is a win-win for everybody wearing red.
And there is activity in the Marlins bullpen.
There's Coach Worth.
Randy Knorr behind him. Swing and a miss. And Espinosa is gone. Well, after giving up base hits to Zimmerman and Nix, Vasquez strikes out at Keel and Espinosa. There's two down with two on. That is strikeout number 5 tonight for Javier Vasquez. Hasn't walked anybody. Henry Rodriguez loosening up in the Nationals bullpen. So it's up to Chris Marrero, as you mentioned, FP. Came in hitting .292. He's got hits in 20 hits his first 19 big league games. Infield singled his last time up. Well, Chris had a great year with Syracuse. 300 batting average, 14 home runs. John Buck and Vasquez apparently not on the same page.
Well, they've been on the same page all night long. Had a good tempo going. If you watch Javier Vasquez, he hasn't shook any pitches all night long. Whatever Buck's put down, he's gone with. So they just want to make sure that in this situation, maybe a veteran guy that's been on second base for a long time doesn't have the signs.
They're trying to get Bixler at first base, and got him. Picked him off first base. Oh my goodness. A rocket throw from John Buck to Gabby Sanchez, picks off Bixler, and the inning is over. We go to the top of the 8th, 3-0 Florida.
blast. We're going to go all the way back to September 4th, since it has to be a home run. It was Lucas Duda, the Mets, off Colin Ballister. And the reason we're showing it, it's been 102 innings since the Nats have given up a home run. So the staff has been great. The bullpen has been great, keeping the ball in the yard. And that's our Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
And Craig Stammen holds the Marlins intact for his time in the mound. Colin Ballister comes out of the bullpen. Well, he's in the bullpen, I beg your pardon. And Stammen will stay out there. If Colin is needed, he's got a 1-3 record. Brian Bixler goes to right in place of Lance Nix. Line drive to Desmond at short. Nice leaping grab, and one up and one down, and Gabby Sanchez retired. So Stammen just continues, FP, to get stronger, doesn't he?
Yeah, throwing some strikes, making him put the ball in play, and he's had some good out pitches with 2 strikes. Big strikeout of Stanton last inning. Infante, a tough guy to strike out.
Brian Peterson has a base hit tonight for Florida. Marlins center fielder. Hitting .276 this time to the plate. And Stammen with a fastball, no balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball inside. 1 ball and 2. 90 on the gun that time. After a base hit in the 3rd inning, Peterson got caught off first base. A nice relay from Desmond, from Bernardina. No baseball for Craig Stammen. That's just trying to get that 41st win or 42nd win at home this year. And Stammen retires. Peterson called strike looking. Halfway to St. Patty's Day, Saturday, September 17th, tomorrow night against the Marlins. Half-price tickets, beer, hot dogs. You want to go to nationals.com/specials. Well, Stammen strikes out his 3rd Marlin. And that'll bring up John Buck. A 1-for-3 night RBI single back in the 2nd inning. 3-0 Marlins. We're in the top of the 8th. Javier Vasquez in the on-deck circle, not about to hit for him. What have you seen the difference, FP, since Stammen came up?
Just throwing strikes, and every single outing the confidence is growing. When you have success at the highest level, I mean, you're going to get more confident every single outing. And I think when you know that the manager's watching you, the pitching coach is watching you, the GM is watching you. I mean, every time you take the biggest stage in front of the bright lights, you know people are watching. And it's a wonderful opportunity, regardless of the score, regardless of the opponent. You're at the major league level, and you work so hard to get here. You take advantage of the opportunity.
Once you got up, did they send you back down at all?
I signed my contract my first day as a big leaguer, and I said, I'm not going back. And I stayed up for 7 years. I told Bill Stoneman at the time, he said, sign right here. If you go back, you're going to make this in AAA. I said, I'm not going back. He did just what you did. He laughed. And 7 years later, he still tells that story.
Here, sign this, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's, get on my office, okay? Stammen misses outside, and John Buck on.
Johnny, I'm looking at one of the games we did, and it was on June 21st, Tuesday, at Nats Park against the Mariners. I'm looking at the line score. It was 5-1 Mariners. And the Nats scored 5 in the bottom of the ninth to win that one 6-5.
Home run.
And the reason I'm bringing that up is it was a game a lot like this. Not a lot going on offensively. Right. We're sitting up here trying to figure things to talk about. And then all of a sudden in the ninth inning, all heck broke loose. They won that game. It went from one of the worst games all year
one of the best
to one of the best games I've ever been a part of. And it was with you. So a lot of similarities between that game on June 21st and the one tonight. Not a lot of offense going on. 5 hits, no runs. 3 hits, 8 runs for them. It's very similar. So stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen.
I think Bob was on vacation for those couple of days, wasn't he?
I think so.
Not on vacation now. He's battling a little health problem. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night. 1 ball and a strike to Vasquez. John Buck is the second walk issued by Craig Stammen at first. 2 down near the top of the 8th inning for Florida. Marlins 8 base hits. The Nationals have 5. Right down Broadway. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vasquez beat the Nationals on July 27th, gave up 1 run, 6 hits, and 7. Won that ball game 7-5. Tonight, no runs, 5 hits through 7. Fouled at the plate, out of play.
Ravon Hernandez started that game I was talking about against the Mariners. Went 4 innings, gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, and you thought, oh, this game's over. Get him tomorrow. And David Pauly came out of the Mariners bullpen. I don't think he was ready to pitch because Brandon League had the save in his back pocket. He walked a couple of hitters in the 9th, and then Wilson Ramos had that 3-run walk-off home run.
Little pop to Espinoza at second. The inning is over, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Time running out for the Nationals. They're down 3-0. Cox Wireless at their local solutions store or by visiting Cox.com.
And Javier Vasquez has been nice tonight. The fastball, slider, curveball, change combination has been lethal. Had a good tempo going. He's been in the strike zone all night. You see the fastball right there by Roger Bernardino. Another fastball away to Wilson Ramos. A fastball in the inner half to Ryan Zimmerman. So getting ahead with the off speed, finishing with the fastball, almost pitching backwards like an American League guy. Very, very effective.
And the Marlins trying to win their 13th ball game at Nationals Park since the beginning of last season. They are 12-3, the best winning percentage on the road against a divisional opponent of any team Tampa Bay at Boston, and Boston at the Yankees round out the top 3 in Major League Baseball. But Florida would love to make this a nice 13-3 run since the start of last year. Chris Marrero in the bottom of the 8th inning for Washington. And Wilson Ramos on deck. And then Craig Stammen, the scheduled batter. And a little bit of activity out in that Florida bullpen just in case. Marrero 1 for 2 nights, singled in the 5th. Just under a .300 batting average. And he takes the call strike.
Just in case was my alias on the road for a full season in the big leagues.
Just in case.
Yep. That was Tad Rusty one year.
Ready, steady the next year. Followed by Call Me If You Like.
You'd laugh if you saw.
I can do it. I can do it. That was a good one, too.
You get a website of Major League Baseball players' aliases in their hotel on the road. That would be hilarious.
Well, Chris Marrero sat down swinging. And that is strikeout number 6 tonight for Vasquez.
Johnny, let's go back to June 21st. A little reunion for us. We did a game that night. 21,502 on hand here at Nats Park to witness this. A 5-run bottom of the 9th for the Nats. They won it 6-5 on a Wilson Ramos walk-off home run. A Gatorade bath. And those that stayed that night were treated to something special.
Yes, they were. Wilson Ramos, a ground ball to second, and Fonte's got it. And there's 2 quick up and 2 quick down to start this 8th inning. The Nationals just can't solve Vasquez tonight.
Pinch count is nice, too. This will be pitch number 88 for Javier Vasquez.
And Steve Lombardozzi at the plate to pinch hit for Craig Stammen. Young man from Atholton High School up in Howard County.
A pinch hit single yesterday off Carrasco from the Mets.
And takes a strike from Vasquez. Nobody on. 3-0 Florida. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning at Nationals Park. Lombardozzi, one of those young guys. Ball is fouled off down the third baseline. Steve only 22 years of age. Grew up in Fulton, Maryland. Came up September 6th at Syracuse, hit .310. 14 stolen bases in 69 games.
See, I'd use that one right there.
Yeah.
It's got a flat side to it. Give me that bat, I'll get a hit.
For some reason, they're going to give him a new stick.
It's like hitting with an award.
134 games with Syracuse and Harrisburg, a nice .309 batting average. And 52 runs driven in. His dad, of course, major leaguer. A foul off of John Buck's arm. Oh, the Hankook Tires game flow. B1 with it. Hankook Tires. The game flow tonight. Only 2 innings to talk about. The second and third both belong to the Marlins. 1 run in the second, 2 in the third. It's held up in a 3-0 shutout that Vasquez is throwing. And activity down in the Nationals bullpen with Yuneski Maya loosening up. FP, what's the best way to get to Vasquez?
When he's on like tonight, I think early in the count, he's going to give you something to hit. He's been all over the strike zone and pick a side of the plate. We said that the other day about Dylan G with the Mets. Guys that move the ball around side to side, in and out, you can't cover everything. You got to pick a side of the plate. You don't so much look for a pitch or sit on one pitch. You're just looking at a side. I'm going to go the other way tonight. I'm going to pull him tonight. I think when a guy like Vasquez, if you think pull, it makes all of his off speed that much better. So some nights you have to tip your cap. He's been good tonight.
He sure has.
And doesn't it always happen after you get 10 runs and 14 hits that you have a game like this?
You have guys like Desmond and Ramos having big nights. That's a great thing about baseball. One never knows, does one? But that's why they play 9 innings, too. Bouncing ball to second again. Infante had a lot of chances tonight. On to Gabby Sanchez. The Nationals are retired in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. 3-0 Florida.
Time for the Morgan Franklin pivotal play. And this one was very pivotal. Down by 3 runs. Brian Bixler on first base. John Buck with a great throw back door. Gabby Sanchez there in time. And when you're down by 3 runs, that cannot happen. With a tying run at the plate, you got to hit 14 home runs in AAA. So Brian Bixler knows that. I've been there, done that. It's very embarrassing. You want to crawl in a hole, and there's nothing you can do. Morgan Franklin and their clients know that pivotal plays don't just happen in sports. See who's making them in business and government at pivotalplays.com. And if you're wondering how a play like that's maybe put on, a lot of times the catcher will just grab some dirt. He'll throw it toward first base. The first baseman will make eye contact, pick it up. Maybe he'll pick at his jersey a little bit, tell him, hey, I got it. And if you saw Gabby Sanchez right there, he was on a full sprint, a dead sprint from way across the diamond. Yeah. So that was a planned play. That wasn't just, Buck throwing to first base and the first baseman being there. There was a sign put on. There was an answer by Gabby Sanchez, and it was a big play in this game.
And the UPS store call to the bullpen tonight. The call to the bullpen package by the UPS store. We love logistics. Yuneski Maya gets the call here in the top of the 9th to hold down Florida and keep this game close within 3 runs. Starts 5, 1-1 record. Giving up 36 hits in 28 2/3 inning of work. 19 earned runs, walked 10 and struck out 11. And it's his job to shut down Florida here in the top of the 9th inning. Bouncing ball to Zimmerman on to first. And ball bouncing off.
Well, you just hope that Chris Marrero was okay. Pretty good play by Ryan Zimmerman, but the throw sunk up the line and he had to go into the runner.
And Bonifacio with that great speed, FP.
I've seen a former teammate of mine, Cliff Floyd, miss a long time with a fractured wrist on a play just like that. And every time I see it, I wince. A good effort by Marrero right there. The left shoulder, the Bonifacio taking the glove with him.
Bonifacio on again after a hit in the first, a hit in the 4th, on with an error in the 7th. And now the top of the 9th. Gets on base to start this inning.
That's his 15th base hit bunt of the year.
And that's hit number 9 tonight for the Marlins.
You take anybody's average on both teams tonight, put 15 hits on it. That's a huge difference, and they've all been bunts. What a weapon.
And Fonte trying to get him down to second base to get another insurance run across the plate. Fouls it off to the right. And Fonte struck out his last 2 times up, back in the 4th and the 7th. Leo Nunez out in that Florida bullpen, if needed. Count is even. Maya against Omar and Fonte. Going to keep Bonifacio close. Yuneski called back up from Syracuse September 6th. He went 4-9. Another throwback to Marrero. Into 22 starts with Syracuse. And 3-1 in his final 4 starts. Pitched against the Astros. His last time out went 2 2/3 innings. The bunt is on, and Fonte to Marrero, and Espinosa covering first. They get the job done, and Bonifacio advances down to second.
It is time for a Ford drive of the game, and we're going to go all the way back to the 3rd inning. And usually we like to make it a nap, but tonight we have to make it a Marlin. Mike Stanton with a double in the gap. It's probably the most exciting hit that's happened in this game, and that's our Ford drive of the game.
And Mike Stanton will step in. He is 2 for 4 tonight. And his batting average at .264, driven in a run, is 83rd of the year. 3-0 Marlins. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Nats trying to extend their winning ways to 6 in a row. Fly ball to right. Starting back and coming in, Vixler. And Bonifacio will advance to 3rd base in that play. And that is base hit number 10 for the Marlins.
We saw Roger Bernardino do this in the 1st inning. A line drive to left field. He broke back and then came in. Ryan Bixler with a tough read on that ball by Stanton. And I'm telling you, you got a big guy up there that's got a lot of home runs. As soon as you see the ball hit, your first instinct is to go back.
And I think credit must be given to Bixler, FP, the way he was able to keep that ball from going past him after he got the base hit.
Well, once he misread it, that's the only thing he could do.
Yeah. Marlins with runners on the corners now with the 1 out in the 9th inning. Foul back to the right now to play. Matt Dominguez up for the first time tonight. Came in as a defensive replacement for Jose Lopez. And Dominguez with a .269 average, only 1 run driven in, no home runs. No balls and a strike to the Marlins third baseman. Maya comes inside, and it's 1-1. Jon Landon started this ball game tonight for the Nats. He went 6 innings, gave up the 3 runs, 8 hits. Struck out 1 Marlin, walked 3. Stammen held them intact. And now Maya on in the 9th inning, trying to duplicate what Craig Stammen did. And keep it close for his teammates in the bottom of the 9th.
And if you're wondering why Jack McKeon bunted up 3-0 with Omar Infante, he is trying to nullify the 1 swing of the bat tie ball game thing, and he might have been in the clubhouse when we just showed that Wilson Ramos highlight.
And Dominguez takes a ball inside, 2 balls and a strike.
A lot of managers play for that 4-run lead. They want the 4-run lead so that the opposition can't tie them with 1 swing. You'll see a lot of teams do that. Up by 3, bunt a guy over into scoring position. I was watching the Cubs game the other day. They did it. I used to do it a lot as a player too. You get that leadoff guy on. You want that 4th run to cross.
Bouncing ball to Zimmerman, foul down the third base line. Dominguez got his only first RBI, his first career against the Braves September 12th. Came up from AAA New Orleans September 6th. And spent most of the season at AAA. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. Runners on the corners. The bouncer to Zimmerman. Going to make a play at home. They got Bonifacio hung up. Ramos runs him down. Throw to second. Trying to get double play. As Stanton got picked off second base, made that turn too wide. And a heads-up play by Wilson Ramos, FP.
Yeah, unbelievable right there. Right when you're thinking Bonifacio is going to stay in that rundown long enough for Stanton to get to third base, the key is getting the first out. Gets the first out, and watch this throw. A bullet to second base. Nice job.
And just two runners past second base. So he's controlled the Bats offense, the Nationals offense. But hey, anytime this club's liable to break loose, feast or famine, a lot of guys that hit home runs, just get a couple of guys on base and see what happens.
All right, we're going to talk about it very soon, hopefully with a rally in mind. Johnny and FP, let's see what they can do in the ninth.
Okay, Byron, it's up to Ian Desmond and Roger Bernardina and Ryan Zimmerman in the Nationals' ninth. And Javier Vasquez trying to become the sixth pitcher this year to have a complete game against the Nationals. Halliday did it. Cliff Lee, Loesch, Hamels, and Kane. I don't think I'd like to add Vasquez's name to that list, would you?
Well, it all started the first 3 innings for Javier Vasquez. A 9-pitch first, a 9-pitch second, and an 8-pitch third. And right then you were starting to think, well, pitch count's not going to be a problem tonight.
And the count to Desmond even up at 1-1. Vasquez has thrown over 100 pitches. Almost 10 games this year. Fly ball to center on quickly Peterson. And that's one down here in the bottom of the ninth. Don't forget, coming up tomorrow night, 7 o'clock at Massa 2 in HD, the Nats and Marlins in Game 2 of our 3-game series. Chris Volstad this season 5-12 and against the Nationals 5-2 with a 5.32 earned run average against Steven Strasburg for the Nationals. This season a couple of starts. It'll be number 3 for the right-hander. 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run he's given up. 3 innings his last start against the Astros. Coverage beginning at 6:30. That'll be with Nats Extra tomorrow night. We hope you'll be here at the ballpark with us.
And you have a big day tomorrow, my friend.
We got the old Terps against West Virginia at noon and baseball tomorrow night.
Oh, well, does it get any better than that?
Yeah, well, it doesn't get much better than that unless you're doing 2 games or 3 games in one day. Big game against West Virginia and Roger Bernardina.
Is Maryland going to wear those crash test dummy uniforms again?
They got something new tomorrow night. They got
right.
the black uniforms. Or tomorrow afternoon. Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to seeing Steven Strasburg, FP, and seeing how long he goes. Davey Johnson said he's going to play it by ear, right?
Right.
No pitch count, no innings pitched limit. Nationals manager just wants to go by feel, by what he thinks he's doing and how long he thinks he should go. He'll have, what, 1 more start after tomorrow? If he's pitching every 6th day, Bernardina strikes out. And there's 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the ninth. And a strikeout number 7 for Vasquez. And it's up to the Nationals' third baseman, Ryan Zimmerman. 3-0 Florida. Nobody on. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. The Marlins trying to snap a 4-game slide. They have dropped 6 of their last 10 after that twin bill loss to the Phillies yesterday in Philadelphia. And the Nationals' 5-game winning streak on the line. Nats trying to win their 72nd ball game and 42nd at home this year. It has been an uphill battle all evening long. Ryan Zimmerman pops it down the right field line, drifting back. Infani's got it, and the game is over. And Vasquez has a complete game shutout over Washington. 3-0. Only 5 hits for the ball club tonight. For FP Santangelo, Debbie Taylor, Johnny Holiday, our final score is 3-0. Florida wins it. Join us tomorrow night for Game 2 of the series with the Marlins. This has been a presentation of Masson. Stay tuned for Nats Extra. That'll be coming up next.